Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda 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 Paramashivoham.
On these readings. Nobody has a right to manipulate these readings. Nobody has a right to interpret, comment these readings. They are complete unto themselves. For anybody to live in the tune with the cosmos, the Jivan Mukti, the living enlightenment, does not need any special practice other than listening to these great readings again and again. When you listen to these great readings, naturally your negative logic is penetrated, broken, and these truths settle in your inner space and they make you live enlightenment. Next. As the avatar of Paramashiva, only Swamiji can decode these Akashic readings. He has graced the humanity with the blessings in the form of Devi Parashakti, revealing answers to the questions, to the yearning of the seekers as solutions, breakthroughs, and liberating the humanity from pain and suffering. Any answer given by Devi Parashakti is just not an answer, but actually a karmic breakthrough for the receiver. Next. Next slide. So the Shastra Pramana, the scriptural reference to manifest the power of Akashic reading, says that Akasham Vimalam Pashyam Kritva Drishtam Nirantaram Stabdharmat Takshanad Devi Bhairavam Vapur Apunyada. Bhagavan Paramashiva says, looking at the spotless, infinite etheric space, Akasha, beyond the sky and the clouds, one should fix one's gaze from the third eye without blinking continuously and make the body and the inner space steady and motionless. In the very moment, O Devi, one attains the nature and powers of the infinite space, Bhairava. Next slide. The Sakshi Pramana experiences and the results of the extraordinary manifestation happening through initiated disciples of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is shown here. Few of the sharings of the thousands of initiated disciples of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism who have successfully started manifesting the power of remote vision after the initiation received from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The Apta Pramana, the reference of powers of Akashic reading from the Puranas. In the Hindu Purana Mahabharata, narrates the great story of the sage Maitreya, who reveals the secrets to Vidura, the story of this birth in human form, and reveals of all his suffering. Sage Maitreya accessed the Akashic records and told Vidura that he was not an ordinary man, but in fact an incarnation of Yamaraja, the Lord of Death. He was to play the part of so-called Sudra for 100 years, being cursed by the Mandaka Muni. Next. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says all the information you collected from all of your births is in your DNA. You can access some of them just to understand and not to waste the time doing the same actions again and again. Accessing the DNA code, reading the Akashic records will be useful for you to be liberated from your default future, bringing an end to the binding cognitions, known and unknown suffering, leading you to the experience of enlightenment, which is Paramashivoham. Next. The initiated Balasans can view the Akashic records. However, it is Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Avatars, Hinduism, only an avatar can alter, edit, upgrade, and change the Akashic records. During the Darshan and Diksha, Swamiji blesses and upgrades the Akashic records as per the prayer of the devotee. Next. Next slide. So with this, we come to the end of this Akashic reading session. So the most accurate and the unbiased answer to any questions about your life, destiny, purpose, or any everyday part of your life. You can ask anything about this in your Akashic reading. You can ask about be spiritually healed of any physical or emotional problems with just a look or a word. You can ask about understanding the reasons behind your life happenings. You can receive blessings to fulfill your right desires. You can get clarity to redesign your future. So these are all the different possibilities that is present in front of you as a viewer. You can avail by being part of this event of Devi Parashakti, Bhava Samadhi Darshan and Akashic reading event. So the next session is going to be an introduction to Devi Parashakti. We are going to manifest the state space powers being superconsciousness and Kailasa of Devi Parashakti, who is going to be manifested through the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhava Nithyananda Paramashivam. So to present this session, I welcome Ma Nithyananda and Ma Tattvapriya to present the session. So before we begin the session, we'll have a short break.
1 or 2 times have Ganapati Darshan, Venkateshwara Bhava Samadhi Darshan, Devi Bhava Samadhi Darshan. By 3rd time, 4th time, you will see every prayer you are asking those beings, Ganapati or Venkateshwara or Subramanya or Parashakti. Simply those prayers become reality, and the relationship between you and that cosmic beings built. There are some great spiritual sciences unique to Hinduism. Subtle, otherworldly, but definitive sign. Manifesting the cosmic beings in Archavatara, deities, in Nijavatara, living incarnations is possible. Understand? Kriya Pada of Vedas and Agamas elaborately explain the whole science of making the cosmic beings manifest in Archavatara, deities, and Nijavatara, living incarnations, both. During the Bhava Samadhi Darshan, literally those cosmic beings manifest through this body. Just like how they manifest in Archavatara, deity, they manifest in Nijavatara, Pratyakshavatara, and give you all the boons you ask, bless you. You see, each God is an independent intelligence to lead you to enlightenment. Each God is a bridge for you to achieve the Shivatva, the ultimate Shiva consciousness. Krishna is the bridge for you to achieve the Krishna consciousness. But Shiva consciousness, Krishna consciousness, all consciousness is one and the same. Ultimate consciousness only. So that energy itself completely expresses.
Just like Radhika, when I see my own sweetness in the mirror, I become eager to taste it. I find that the only way to relish this sweetness is through the constitution of Sri Radhika.
Bhava Samadhi Darshan is a window to the infinite expanse of consciousness, allowing us to glimpse the formless in a way that we can understand. It cleanses the karmas of lifetimes. It awakens our biomemory to the space of Paramashiva, the ultimate consciousness, and creates a deep and lasting transformation in us.
I tell you, each Bhava Samadhi Darshan is a spiritual treat, enjoy. Spiritual feast, enjoy. Don't miss it. Never miss a Bhava Samadhi Darshan. Enjoy Paramashivoham, which is introducing and making you cognize the cosmic principles and cosmic beings. The state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, being of Paramashiva. one or two times have Ganapati Darshan, Venkateshwara Bhava Samadhi Darshan, Devi Bhava Samadhi Darshan. By third time, fourth time, you will see every prayer you are asking those beings, Ganapati or Venkateshwara or Subramanya or Parashakti, simply those prayers become reality, and the relationship between you and that cosmic beings built.
Now let's enter into the next segment. So where we are going to be learning about the divine feminine consciousness. Next slide, please, now.
In this segment, we are going to be learning who is the cosmic mother, Devi Parashakti, because today it is she who is going to come down and give us the greatest of revelations just out of her sheer love and compassion for humanity. So there's a beautiful dhyana mantra, a dhyana shloka of Devi Parashakti.
Shiva-shaktya yukto yadhi bhavati shaktah prabhavitum na chedevam devo na kalu kushalas vanditum api atastvam aratyam harihara vichindha vivrapi pranatum stotum va katamakrita punya prabhavati. Lord Shiva only becomes able to do the creation in this world along with Shakti. Without her, even an inch he cannot move. And so how can one who does not do good deeds or one who does not sing your praise become adequate to worship you, O Goddess, who is worshipped by Trinity?
The dhyana shloka of Devi Parashakti beautifully describes her. There's another verse sung by Adi Shankaracharya.
Bhavani tvam dasi mahi vitara drishtim sakarunam iti stotum vachan kadhyati bhavani tvam iti yaha tadaivattam tasmai disai nijasayujya padaram mukunda brahmendra sputha makuta nirajita padam. If anyone has his wish in his mind to pray, saying, O Bhavani, my mother, please shower on me a part of your merciful look. Even before he says, O Bhavani, you, my goddess, would give him the water falling from the crowns of Vishnu, Rudra and Brahma at your feet and grant him the eternal life in your world.
Devi, the ultimate pure feminine consciousness. All great things can start only with the mother. Bhuvaneshwari is a cosmic mother, and in her cosmic womb is where billions and billions of universes, cosmos and multiverses are birthed. She is the source where Big Bang and black hole happen, goes on, and it dissolves itself. Parashakti is the source of all of us. We all came from Parashakti. We all stay in Parashakti and we all go back in Parashakti. We are all literally the wave in the ocean called Parashakti. Just like how a wave starts from the ocean, raises in the ocean and falls back into the ocean and merges into the ocean. Same way, we all start in Parashakti, raise in Parashakti, fall back into Parashakti and merge in Parashakti. She is the cosmic mother. She is the ultimate, most compassionate. Parashakti is the main deity of the sacred feminine, and she is the divine consort of Bhagavan Paramashivoham, who is the Lord of the Supreme Consciousness. Devi Parashakti is the embodiment of Tyaga. Connecting to her, she is the cosmic mother, the source of everything. Actually, the science of divine feminine consciousness itself is very unique to Hinduism.
Actually, in Lilithas now it says, Shri Mata Shri Maharagi Shri Simhasaneshwari, which the whole first word, even before Lilithas Sahasranam is extolling 1008 names of Devi Parashakti. But the first word starts with Shri Mata, the mother of the universe. The unique contribution to spiritual consciousness from Vedic tradition is sacred feminine worship. See, Sanatana Hindu Dharma has 10,000 sampradayas. Even if all sampradayas are lost for some reason, just if this one thing, the sacred feminine worship, just as mother worship, if this is kept alive, then the whole thing can be brought back, because this is the seed. The sacred feminine worship is a hologram of the entire Vedic tradition. There is no enlightened being on the planet Earth without worshipping the sacred feminine. Swamiji says, including me. I am basically a Shakta. I myself followed Shakta, Devi tradition, Devi worship. From the beginning, if you read my biography and all the deities I carved, the darshans I had, all are mother-based, Devi-based.
This is a beautiful example. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, who is a great enlightened being and an avatar, who was born in 1836 and attained Samadhi in 1886, still continues to live with us. He says, Shiva is Brahman, but Devi has a key to reach the Brahman. Unless she opens, nobody can reach the Brahman. Very beautifully describes the house scene. She says, even though the whole house, the owner is the husband, the key to the house is in the hip of the mother. So if you need the key of the house, you either have to fall at her feet, or the small children of the mother who are very close to her, who can go, and who are the only people who can touch her hip and pull the key out. Same way, if you need to reach, if you need to connect to that ultimate Brahman, either you need to fall, connect to the mother, surrender to the mother, or surrender to those who are close to the mother, the enlightened beings, avatars and gurus, who happen to connect you to the mother. From time immemorial, Paramashiva and Parashakti have continuously made themselves available just for all of us. Just understand, the divine cosmic beings are real. They happen from Kailasa, the enlightened time-space dimension, through deities and Nija Avatara. In Madurai, Paramashiva as Bhagavan Somasundareshwara and Devi Parashakti as Devi Meenakshi came down and from Kailasa and established the great enlightenment ecosystem in Madurai. Bhagavan Somasundareshwara graced the people of Madurai with various miracles, and he stays in a frequency where he can immediately assume the human body and relates with you, answers you, responds to you, raises you. This very beautiful song, he says, Sundareshwara is like a cosmic 911. The whole Shivalila Arnava describes different stories, different happenings and scenes where Paramashiva assumes a human body just at the call of a devotee. Beautifully, Paramashiva reveals every time he assumes the form to manifest a certain power or certain and grace the devotee. He exemplifies the expression of a certain sacred secret that the humanity can benefit from. We will now see some of these beautiful leelas that Paramashiva and Parashakti perform in the life of the devotees. So the first story that we are going to be seeing is the all-powerful Siddha, where Paramashiva assumes, Lord Somasundareshwara assumes the form of a great Siddha to play in the life of his devotees whom he is fond of.
So today we are going to be seeing the story of Illamar the Siddhar. And so Paramashiva comes down in this form of a great Siddha. And this Siddha was like doing all sorts of powers and charming face. He used to make objects that are far to appear near. He used to stand in the west and appear in the east, stand in the north and appear in the south. And like this, so many things he was doing, and people are all like awed by it. So many miracles are happening in people's lives. Suddenly the king heard about this, and the king calls the Siddha. The Siddha says, no, he will not be able to come, no. And the king decides he will come and meet the Siddha. So right after the Thai Abhishekam at the temple, he sees the Siddha, and the king goes. The king asked, so the king asked him about his land, his name, what he wanted. The Siddha replied that he was a wanderer through all the lands. However, he lived in Kashmir, the great city of Kashi, and all those who lived the great life of begging belonged to his place. And the king was very arrogant. And what he did, he wanted to, like when he's listening to this, he thinks the Siddha is being very arrogant. And the king says, okay, no, if you're really a Siddha, then make this stone elephant eat the sugar cane. There was a sugar cane, and the king asked Siddha to make the stone elephant. It's even to this day, it's called as Kalyane Karumbu Tinnalli. It means where the stone elephant, the Siddha just looks at it. Suddenly the stone elephant which is carved on the stone, takes the sugar cane and eats. Not just that, goes and pulls the string, the pearl string from the king's neck. Then immediately the king realizes that it was Shiva himself who has come down in the form of the Siddha. And immediately the Paramashiva gives him the darshan, and it is beautiful. Even to this day, you can see the temple. The next we have is Amaranidhi Nayanar. Amaranidhi Nayanar, he was a Vaishya, and he was in the Chola kingdom.
We
I can go to the next slide now. See, Parayarai was a very fertile place, surrounded on all sides with green fields, etc. Amaranidhi Nayanar was a trader in gold, diamonds, silk, and cotton. He used to import these goods from foreign countries and used to be selling them at reasonable prices. And he was quite rich. Though he was engaged in such worldly activities, his mind was only filled with Paramashiva. He was an ardent Shiva Bhakta. So he would invite all the people, all the Shiva Bhaktas to come and eat in his house, and then he used to give them the kaupinam. And he used to visit sacred temples of Tirunallur during the festivals and worship Paramashiva.
And he used to constantly keep offering Annadan to people, revering and worshipping every Shiva Bhakta. So this was his life goes on. And with this devotion to Paramashiva, Amaranidhi Nayanar would chant a Panchakshari mantra. And he used to go have darshan of Paramashiva every day. Like this, he was continuously doing, and then he left from Parayarai to Tirunallur with his family. And then there he built a beautiful mutt to accommodate all the Shiva Bhaktas who visited. Every day he used to visit, he used to call the Shiva Bhaktas, offer them a kaupinam, and give them the kaupinam's loincloth, and offer them food. So Paramashiva was highly pleased with Amaranidhi Nayanar, that how he is doing continuously Annadan and the Kaupina charity, and the extreme kindness that he is showing to the Shiva Bhaktas. So Paramashiva, so pleased he was, he wanted to show the greatness, the devotion of the Amaranidhi Nayanars to the world and shower his blessings to Amaranidhi Nayanar. So one day, Paramashiva, in the guise of a brahmachari, with a beautiful matted locks on his head and sacred ashes on his forehead, full bhasma, he has a staff on his hand, and he's carrying a kamandalu, and he starts walking around. He's having a staff on his shoulder. he appeared before Amaranidhi Nayana's mutt. And with the 2 kaupinams and a small ash bag were tied to one end of the staff. And he had that Paramashiva who had come in the form of a Siddha had a very charming face. His eyes were glittering. He walked gracefully into the mud. Amaranidhi Nayanar, with extreme joy, welcomed him, worshipped him. Though still unaware that it is Paramashiva, seeing this ardent Shiva Bhakta who is radiating so much of grace and exuberant bliss, he worships him. And the Brahmachari said, who has come as Sadhu, the Paramashiva has come as Sadhu, he said, "Oh friend, you are a noble soul. People are highly praising your service to Shiva Bhaktas. I have come to you for darshan." Amaranidhi Nayanar begged him to take the bhiksha. And he readily agreed and said, "Okay, I shall go on the river and return after finishing my bath and the Nitya Karma. And rain may drench my kaupinam. So please keep this dry kaupinam and safely with you. And I shall come back for it. The kaupinam is very precious. So please keep it. Do not cause any kind of a damage for it."
So the Brahmachari went away and Amaranidhi Nayanar kept this kaupinam safely inside the house. Soon after the Brahmachari came back from his bath, etc., he asked for the dry kaupinam. And Amaranidhi Nayanar goes and sees he is not able to find the kaupinam. He prayed to Paramashiva, yet he could not find it. He approaches the Brahmachari and is trembling with another kaupinam and explained that his what is happening to him, but the Brahmachari was in no mood to take any explanation. He says, "I'll offer any wealth, anything you want in compensation." But that Brahmachari says, "What do I have to do with all your wealth? That is of no use to me. I only need a kaupinam." And then he says, "I got another kaupinam. If you can give me another, I got another kaupinam. You can give me another of the same weight." And Amaranidhi Nayanar was greatly relieved when he heard, and he brought a balance. Then he bought the kaupinam on one side and another piece to other. The Brahmachari scale was down. Whatever Amaranidhi Nayanar is putting on this side, still what? So this Brahmachari is putting one. So Paramashiva, who is in this form of a Brahmachari, he has put one kaupinam cloth. The Amaranidhi Nayanar is putting, but the balance is not balancing at all. He was amazed and he understands this is only Paramashiva's Leela. All his wealth could not be equal to Paramashiva's kaupinam. How could it be? And then the fibers of this kaupinam represented the Shastras itself. It is the Vedas. Amaranidhi Nayanar immediately fell at Brahmachari's feet and asked him to allow himself, his wife, his child to be weighed against the kaupinam. The Brahmachari agreed. Then as soon as Amaranidhi Nayanar got on to the scale with his wife and child, saying, "If I had truly served the Shiva Bhaktas with devotion and sincerity, let this scale be equal to the weight of kaupinam." Immediately, the two scales balanced. Then mother of the merit of Amaranidhi Nayanar's selfless sacrifice and service to Paramashiva Bhaktas are equal to the merit of Paramashiva's kaupinam itself. So the people who witnessed this were wonderstruck. They prostrated before Amaranidhi Nayanar and praised him. The Devas showered from the heaven and the Brahmachari disappeared, and Paramashiva and Parashakti appeared and gave darshan to them. And Paramashiva says, "I'm immensely pleased with your wholehearted and sincere devotion to me and my bhaktas. On account of the Paramashiva's grace, the balance itself turned into a celestial car in which Amaranidhi Nayanar, his wife, and his child attained the Paramashiva Kailasa."
Now, what I saw, the story of Ellamalla Siddhar and Amaranidhi Nayanar, are beautiful examples of how Paramashiva and Parashakti continuously make themselves available just to test the tyaga of the devotee, just to enjoy the devotion of the devotee, and to show the greatness of the devotion to the world. Paramashiva performs all kind of tests, all kind of leelas, and finally gives them the boon, a blessing much more than what they can even expect. Now, what we saw are not mere stories. They are not mere happenings. They are not mere history. It is a happening which is timeless, from time immemorial to this day and to the future more than what you can imagine, Paramashiva and Parashakti are continuing to perform the Leelas in the lives of the devotees. Today, Paramashiva and Parashakti have come down in their physical, the Nija Avatar, the physical embodied form as a supreme pontiff of Hinduism. And through the supreme pontiff of Hinduism, answering the prayers, boons, miracles, manifesting everything in the lives of the devotees who are praying. The supreme pontiff of Hinduism, the very incarnation of Paramashiva and Parashakti, attends to every call, everybody, any devotee in any remote corner of the world with one true sincere devotion and prayer, immediately manifest the miracles, greatest of blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. In this segment, we are going to listen to some of these beautiful personal sharings from the lives of devotees who have been bestowed with this great Leela and the great happenings with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Let's enter into the next segment just after a short break. Sorry for the